Hi everyone, hope you're well, and let me start by saying happy Halloween to you all. Hope it's a good and scary day. My name is Laura Holly and this is Pedagogo Reviews, reviewing albums and EPs from popular, old school, lesser known and independent artists. Today we'll be looking at Death Cab for Cutie's Transatlanticism, which was released on the 15th of October 2003 through Barsic Records. Death Cab for Cutie are a sweet little alternative rock band hailing from Washington, the USA. They've actually been around for about 15 years, but they rose to success and got on the success train in 2003 with their album Transatlanticism, partially thanks to the hit US show The OC, where they were featured and mentioned quite a bit. Now, I can't remember why or when I got into Death Cab for Cutie. I do remember hearing their name and thinking, what a stupid name for a band, I'm never going to listen to them, which is very shallow of me, I know. But I think one of my friends got me into them, and either way, Transatlanticism was the first album of theirs that I listened to, and it actually had a massive impact on me and influenced me a lot during my teenage years. I think it was like a soundtrack to that time of my life. So Transatlanticism was the fourth album from Death Cab, released on an independent label, and due to its well-earned success, it was also the bridge that allowed them to cross over to major label territory and get them signed to Atlantic Records in 2004. Now, maybe I'm being slightly biased because Death Cab were one of my favourite bands back in the day, but I think this album is almost solid, like almost. There are 11 tracks on there, which is the whole album, 11 good tracks on there, and 9 out of those 11 are excellent tracks. 2 songs, Expo 86 and Death of an Interior Decorator, are songs that I wouldn't skip if they came on, but I wouldn't voluntarily listen to them. Having said that, there are parts in both of the songs, as well as the other 9, which I really like. Each track has its "this is my favourite bit in it, whether it be the music or the lyrics. For example, in the distance. So those are my favourite parts, and what I really like about Death Cab for Cutie is that you can pick something unique from each song because none of them sound the same, and this applies to everything from their song structure to their lyrics. And I mean, the most commercial tracks on Transatlanticism probably Sound of Settling and Lack of Colour, and even those two aren't really very poppy. And I think it's because there are lots of layers in Death Cab for Cutie tracks. It's not verse, chorus, middle eight, chorus, chorus. They just kind of go off on their own tangent a lot of the time, which is pretty cool. And it's the same instrumentally, where they might have a familiar chord progression, but they use not only the 2 guitars, but also the bass and other instruments and the vocals to create all these individual melodies that work really well when they come together. And that might make it a bit hard to listen to at first, especially if you've been listening to pop music all your life, like I had been. But after a couple of listens, it all comes together and it makes sense. Also, Ben Gibbard's lyrics. Now, although I sing along and know the words to a lot of their songs, I'm not really too sure what they're about, but I relate to them in my own way. The lyrics are descriptive and you need to concentrate sometimes to hear what Ben is saying. But there are some lines which are really easy to pick up on, and those are the ones which let you just relate to the whole song. So you might just be singing along, not really getting what's going on, and then a line like this pops up. When I stumbled upon pictures I tried to forget. And you're like, oh my god, this song is my life. I can relate to this so much. And suddenly a light is shone on the song and there is clarity. I mean, sometimes the lyrics aren't so hard to understand and they are so descriptive that I not only replay my own memories, but I also conjure up some imaginary memories. So when I hear New Year, I think about the time I celebrated New Year with all my friends at the top of a skyscraper, and it was the best time. That never happened. And when I hear Tiny Vessels, and I think about the time I was in California, like using this girl to try and get over my broken heart, that never happened. Or when I hear We Look Like Giants and I think about the time I had a really nice long chat with one of my best friends in this football stadium, and then we ran to the highest point in the city and had this amazing view and we managed to watch the sunset. That never happened. Or when I hear Transatlanticism and I remember the time I literally floated across the ocean. That never happened. I mean, you could say that these are just emotions or the way that the songs make me feel, but I actually think of these as memories. It's not I feel like floating across the ocean. No. That actually happened. I mean, it didn't. That didn't happen. But I feel like it did. But I think it's awesome when a songwriter can get you to make up your own little stories from their songs because their lyrics aren't so blatantly obvious. And that's not to shun any of the songwriters or artists who do put you directly in the driver's seat, but I think it's just cool to get your imagination going with some songs. It's all a step away from the norm of pop music where the structure and the lyrics and the tunes are all very familiar, but that's why it's alternative. And I think Death Cab were one of the first bands that I listened to of this style, which is why they influenced me so much. So I give Transatlanticism a 4.5 out of 5 because it is a kick-ass album that will forever live on in my heart. Give it a couple of listens to allow the music and Ben Gibbard's voice to really sink in. And also check out their other albums. I think Transatlanticism is the most commercial and, in my opinion, the best out of the 7 they have. Bear in mind that I am a commercial listener. I prefer that kind of thing. I haven't heard their latest album, which was released, I think, in November last year, possibly. Might be wrong in that. But the 3 before Transatlanticism are a lot more alternative. And then the couple afterwards, Plans, Narrow Stairs, are also, I don't think they're as commercial as Transatlanticism is, but they are all worth a listen. And I will go and listen to their latest one now, I think. To check out what's going on with Death Cab for Cutie these days, take a look in the description box below where I have posted links to their official website and their YouTube channel. So, this Friday, next Monday and next Wednesday there will be no Pedagogo Reviews because I'm going away for a week. But on Friday the 9th of November I will be coming back and starting the reviews again in November with a big bang. I'll be looking at the album Heavy in the Day by a band called Canterbury. There's lots of kicks and punches in that, not in a non-violent way, in a musical way. To watch more reviews, go to the Pedagogo Music channel, and to keep up to date with the latest Pedagogo Reviews, just subscribe. For now, have a good Wednesday, hope you enjoy Halloween, and I will see you next Friday.